Hi there, Peter, also known here on YouTube as EssenceOfThought. I just watched your video about running into the feminist minefield, and I must say there are a few things that both sound good, but also raises the warning flag instantly for anyone that has been around a little while. And I'm not saying it as to make anyone feel smaller or less experienced, although experience is something that is at the very core of what I want to bring your attention to rather than anything else. This is both a form of critique to your way of reasoning now, because it is very much giving the distinct notion of my feels. It is more than your facts. And to put it quite distinctively, it sounds like you've met a handful of few nice people that seems to make a lot of sense, and we all know that they do exist out there. When it comes to feminism, however, I must say that these people are extremely, if not exceptionally, rare. I took a little time to try and write something down. I thought I was gonna post something on your video, but I thought it's better if I do a video of my own, to give you my voice, my reasoning, my feedback as I go through my way of thinking, and hopefully it'll encourage you to live up to what you've been doing previously in the videos I've been following you on, mostly when it comes to religion and all the other crazy people that are out there. Now, you said a lot of things in your video, and I'm not going to do any addressing of point by point, but I'm gonna rather put forward my thoughts and what makes me more concerned when it comes to feminism. Now, you are advocating that it is good to listen to feminism and that it would be good to try and not associate the negative and try to be moving for the good. But here are my thoughts regarding that feminism could be a good thing, but it's not interested in that. And a movement such as feminism, and I do mean feminism at large, is a movement that fosters and nurtures the silencing tactics and turns active blind eye to reality. And I don't think that is a movement that should be supported in any way. I'm sad to say it sounds like you've been very much sold on the dictionary definition of what feminism is, which has nothing to do with what the everyday feminism is that we have around today. And just to go on a quick sidetrack there, I can refer you to the Gamergate hashtag, and I urge you to be as open-minded as possible and really try to read into that. It's very easy to jump down just one barrel and then say that you stick to that side, but it's not that easy. In the Gamergate incident, we've seen the social justice warriors and the feminists all up in arms and being the ones doing all the horrible and really nasty shit they tend to accuse everyone else of doing, especially the things they say makes the online space so unsafe for women. They are themselves doing all these crimes, and they are doing them really nastily. And you even have big feminist blog writers supporting dox dropping, i.e. giving out names and addresses of people that are on the Gamergate side, the people that want to make gaming good again and wants to get feminism back onto the side where it belongs, because feminism and gaming are two different things. The gaming community is already diverse, but feminism have had an idea in their mind that it's only white, cisgendered, straight males with neck beards living in their mom's basements and have never seen a real woman in their entire life. That is the rhetoric the feminists, as a big group, not all of them, but as a very big group, and I do mean that by gaming press and media leading that narrative, saying that this is what gaming is. It's just full of white, male, misogynist, men that hate women. That's what they're trying to drive. But let's get back to the by-silencing tactics that I mean with. The simplest thing you can do is look up offended white male and then you can move on from there. Just use Google and start with offended white male, and then just go wherever your fancy takes you. Look at all these things going on feminist blogs everywhere. I know it's more typical up in Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, where the feminists seem to be in this complete mindset that anyone that doesn't agree with them, no matter how right the other side may be, they're only misogynist, they're women-hating, and they're anti-feminist. And if they do not shut up, whilst they're screaming all over their blogs that all men are white rape apologist scum and should apologize, if men do not apologize, they just offended white male. That's the entire rhetoric, and it's going around and around and around, and even in printed press is that allowed. Just, I think it was 5 days ago, I saw printed press in Sweden having a transgendered woman, man, I don't know from which to where, and I don't know the entire minefield going on there. That's a really, really screwed up area to try and define whatever are. Transgendered person basically went out and said, I hate all fucking white men, and you should just shut the fuck up and accept that I do so. Since when is it okay to print and advocate for hate against any group in society? Well, I don't know, but in feminist mindsets and feminist culture, it is okay to hate men. It's okay to hate the patriarchy, and especially okay to hate the white men. I don't know why, but I can easily see the connection to the propaganda machine that was running just before World War II broke out in Germany. How, oh, these Jewish people, they aren't really right in the head, they're a little bit too greedy, and all the bullshit they were spewing then. I see the same thing today, but it is white men because they hate women. But while you're at it, while you're looking for the offended white male, you may want to look at the more extreme lengths of moderation these feminist blogs go to as well, just to ensure that there's the safety of their echo room and to shut out any thoughts or ideas that actually may conflict with their, I'm not going to say propaganda, it's an agenda. They want this to happen, and anything conflicting with it needs to go. Trolls be trolls, but in the feminist mindset, in the online arena, any and all critique, no matter how valid it is nothing but proof that patriarchy exists and that they are being attacked by a misogynist. A word, I must say, also has lost all meaning in the past few years, because feminists are far too happy to throw it around any which way just to see if it sticks to something. You're right about equality. Equality is a good thing to fight for. But that is the last thing feminism fights for. You claim in this video that you met these nice persons. These nice persons you just met would jump up and start addressing issues like male rape victims and other issues for men. Maybe they would, maybe they would not. I do not know these people. But here's the thing that you can check out yourself. You know them. Take a look into their history. Take something as simple but as major as the feminist myth that will not die about the wage gap. Look into the history of your friends and see if they have ever bothered about advocating for there to be, say, more women working as deep sea welders, deep sea fishers, refuse collectors, loggers, roofers, construction laborers. All these jobs have two things in common. They're highly, highly dangerous and very, very demanding, and they're often not that well paid. What about feminism on these issues? Well, feminism is dead silent about these areas. I've been trying to find campaigns forcing women to start working as deep sea welders. I've been trying to find campaigns saying that women should start working as refuse collectors. I cannot find that anywhere, at least not from feminist supported organizations. I can find on small bulletin boards, local posts about wouldn't it be nice if there were a woman or two that maybe worked in this office here where we work with refuse collection. Sometimes you can find them. They usually sit in the reception and answer the phone, but they're never really out doing the heavy lifting, sifting through tons of refuse where you can sometimes get crushed, and it happens hundreds of times every year in UK that people are in severe accidents. But where are the women on these low-paid, highly dangerous jobs? Where is feminism on these low-paid, highly dangerous jobs? It is all but that's well, it cannot be found. I would be happy if it was, because that would actually make me sort of believe when it comes to their heart issue, the core issue that feminism is about. All these well-paid, safe and snug jobs. And feminism is actually up in arms about all of these jobs that are safe and also happens to pay quite well. Here in UK, here in United Kingdom, by next year, we have the feminist stranglehold so hard on the government that they're forcing there to be a 25% women level in boardrooms across all companies here in UK by end of next year. Well, it's debatable that we have that many women that are actually qualified. And by qualified, I say experienced, ready, able, willing, and capable. A leadership role is not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. And here it comes. First and foremost, are you willing to take on a leadership role with all that it entails? Not just, oh, it's a nice comfy chair in an air-conditioned boardroom with a high nice view over London. We're talking about, are you willing to deal with the fact that you one day may have to fire 2,000 people, that you have to let them go, that you have to say, well, we're gonna let 2,000 people go because, well, fuck it, we need more money into our stocks, we need more money into our financiers, we need to do this. That is just one tiny portion of all the stuff you have to be willing to do if you're in a leadership position. Are you capable of doing these? Willing doesn't mean that you're capable. So are you willing to actually do something? And then are you capable on top of that? Let's go back to the thing of, are you able to hold down all the pressures that come with being a leader? Just to do a little bit of a piss take here, we've all seen the ban bossy adverts, and apparently women, if you're going to believe the advert, cannot take being called bossy. Well, sorry to say, if you're gonna sit in a boardroom and be in charge of a business, then you're gonna have to be bossy. You're gonna have to be able to balance the level of leadership towards bossy, and you're gonna have to balance that very, very finely. The second point I put out there in being qualified, are you ready? Are you at the time in your life where you can actually understand what decisions and consequences are? Where you actually understand and are able to see a lot further than your own nose? Are you ready by having had experience? Are you ready by having the education? Are you ready by having everything you need? I can say there are not many people that do that, and most people do learn on the job. But the better you're qualified and prepared, as in ready, the better suited you are for the job. Which is to the first point I pointed out in this as being qualified. Experienced. Do you have the necessary experience to actually be playing at this level? Or is it all down to what is and or is not dangling between your legs? Also, what message is this feminism? And I do say feminism on this because this is something I'm struggling to find a feminist that is not supporting the quotas. There are women stepping outside and saying, well, we're not really supporting this because it means that there will not be qualified people in positions. Might be a few feminists, but feminists as large as the big group really supports this thing about quotas. They want more women in leadership positions, but they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work that is required to get there. And what message is this sending to all the thousands of men? And I do mean thousands. It wouldn't surprise me if there are tens of thousands of men that are qualified, experienced, ready, able, willing, capable. But they are not eligible for these 25% seats just because there is a penis dangling in their pants. That's their only disqualification from these 25% seats. Now, you may actually have understood it long before we got to this point, but I'm all for meritocracy. Your merit is what drives you forward, shows you what you can do, if you're capable, if you're able, if you can do a job. And when it comes to these positions, these boardroom positions, this above all is what matters, not your gender. If a woman is able, ready, capable, willing, qualified to lead, she has my support. But if she is not, well, if the person is not, I should rather say, then that person should not be there. The person should not have support. The person should not have been put there in the first place. Now, let me ask you this instead. Is it really equality that we've already reserved 25% of the gold medals before we have even had the qualifying run, let alone put our shoes on? We might as well just hand out the gold medals for the 25% women. They don't even have to run, and then we let the rest of the guys compete. The ones that have spent hundreds of hours, half their life trying to get this goal. But no, you're gonna have to fight in a narrowing, dwindling, tiny little field. There's gonna be more and more and more competitions there. And, well, we're gonna give it away for free for the women because, well, they're women. They don't have a penis dangling between their legs, and that's apparently the thing that makes them unable to get to these positions. Now, I call very much bullshit on that. And I say, quotas is the worst thing that can ever happen, and all it will do is allow for more of these social justice warriors and feminists with really radical and bad ideas, unhealthy ideas. I'm not talking about feminists as, oh, this is the dictionary equality thing that we want. I'm talking about the radical feminists that are ready to jump when these positions are being given away for free, to get in control, to get more power, to put more bad idea people in place. And I'm saying bad idea people because not all of it is feminism, but a lot of it is. But we also have tons of social justice warrior stuff running rampant through this. And it's very much a bad thing. It discourages free thought. It discourages free thinking. It's discouraging criticism. It's discouraging free ideas. And that is very, very much what these radical feminists want. But let's get on the negative side of putting quotas into, say, boardrooms that we're gonna do here in the UK for some stupid reason. What about the devastatingly negative impact of putting an unqualified person in a position of leadership that they're not ready for? That has, in the past, and will always happen in the future when you're dealing with quotas. You will get very, very bad impact. You will never get the best also in terms of getting people into these leadership positions. An unqualified person in the wrong position can cost hundreds, if not thousands of people their jobs, investments, savings. Leadership, as I pointed out earlier in this video, is definitely not for everyone. And it is something that should never, ever be formed or filled by trying to match quotas. But I get back to it again. Where are the quotas for the jobs that I talked about previously? You know, the deep sea welders, deep sea fishermen, refuse collectors, all these low-paying jobs. Where are the quotas for that? Equality doesn't stop at just one tiny position. Equality is across the board. Where are the feminists that talk about getting more women to become refuse collectors? Where are the women that talk, well, feminists that talk about deep sea welding Where are the organizations that are working for the quotas to force women into these low-paying and deadly jobs? Because that is exactly what's happening on the other end. It's like, oh, it's just a good-paying job. That's the thought of getting women onto these boardrooms. But in fact, they're forcing women to have to take these jobs. They're forcing women to have to apply for jobs they themselves may not consider themselves ready for. And it should be down to the individual. Do they really want to do this? Now, I know a few people that are actually up at this high level. They work 80 hours a week. And I'm sad to say that whilst I know there are women out there that care nothing for having a kid, I do know several of them personally, and I know women that are perfectly happy of working long hours. I've never met a woman that are up for the 50 weeks a year, 80 hours a week, working Saturdays and Sundays. I've heard a few talk about it. I've heard a few imagine it, but I've never seen a single one deliver on it. Even ones that I know own and run their own companies. Mostly running their own companies, they actually do so because they want more time with their own family, kids or no kids. Now, when it comes to really big leader, boardroom, top 25%, 100 FTSE, then there is no choice about staying home. There is the work and that's it. That is what leadership is when it comes to these levels. And this is a dangerous thing because it will put people in positions they don't want to be in. So that's what I mean by forcing people into position they don't want to be in, have no interest in, and may be, and it's very likely to be, completely wrong for. Beyond the ideology and its dictionary definition of feminism, or for any movement really, any culture movement that is at the end defined by its actions, feminism claims to work for equality. That is what sells every idiot that calls themselves feminist. They got in on that hook. We're working for equality. Call yourself feminist. Oh, fuck yeah. Calm down there. This is not what feminist actions stand for. It is, for me, looking at feminism and thinking, equality, well, that sounds good. But what does it do? And here's something that is always and ever so extremely visible when it comes to feminism. It is, and always will be, women first, and then maybe throw a few scraps off the table down on the floor for the men. Maybe they're allowed to sit in the kiddie chair on the corner if they do belong to the special variety of men. The beta males and the non-cisgendered, whatever the fuck that really means. So if you're transgendering, transitioning male, there's gonna be a woman or something, you're a little bit more in favor, but you're still considered not so important. Women first, even though we already have it good. Women need it better for some reason in the feminist mindset. And I pointed out just a few things, but you can take pretty much any topic that feminists are fighting for. You never see the opposite spectrum. You never see the feminists that are picketing and demanding harsher sentences for criminal activities done by women. In fact, you see quite the opposite. I think it's in Canada where the feminist organizations, more than one, I haven't really dug in deeply to it, but they're apparently lobbying to completely shut down all female prisons in Canada. Because, well, it's so much harsher when a woman gets sent to prison, so we should scrap the penal system completely for women. Never mind the fact that globally women receive, I think it's 63% less severe penalties for equal crimes to men? Where are the feminists that are up in arms and saying, no, let's have equality. Either we reduce the men's sentences or up the women's sentences. Nowhere to be found. How many times can you not read everywhere on the internet of women assaulting men, battering, beating them bloody, and getting away with it? Not even a slap on the wrist. How many times can you see newspapers of women accusing men and then the story just simply disappears? It was an accusation of rape or sexual assault or something. It just disappears because it wasn't actually true, but there is never a correction, never anything standing up. Where are the feminists that are saying, enough is enough, no more false accusations? Where are they? We even had 2 months ago, I think it was, some kind of politician in Parliament here in UK that had to step down for a month because a woman had accused him of some sexual assault. He said, I did not do it. His own party had to remove him for a month to put him in quarantine for a month. Yet a month later he's back because they were unable to prove anything. And since then I don't really know what's happened to the story, but he said he was innocent. She accused him. As society, we decided to remove him, the male. Be gone with the man. This is what feminism stands and supports. It's okay to be a woman and falsely accused or baselessly accused and expect repercussions to be meted out to the men. This guy had to step down from his job for over a month just because he was accused of sexual assault from a woman. Where are the feminists that demanded and saying, stop, let's get evidence. If he actually did it, then yes, burn the fucker on the stake or whatever. But until we can prove, or until we can get good facts in there, let's not judge, let's not harass, let's not smear them all over public media. But no, we don't do that. And as feminists especially do not do this. Check around with your friends and see if they think it is acceptable that these things are allowed to happen. Regrettably, I know hundreds of stories of men being accused without evidence of doing something bad to women, and every single one have suffered because we choose to side with the woman in every single case. And feminists are dead silent about trying to balance the scale and saying, hold on, let's not be that rash, let's not be that harsh. Until this starts happening, for me, feminists as general, as in whole, and I'm sorry to say I will have to bundle in someone like Christina Hoff Sommers that does her damnedest of trying to present factual bits about feminism. She's very much an inspiration, and I'm so perplexed that she's pretty much the only one that people can count up that isn't spewing bullshit, hatred, falsehood, lies, and tries to work for both genders. That is actually trying to work for equality, not favoritism. Feminism is for favoritism. And I'm sorry to say that I have to bundle her in there when she's calling herself a feminist, because that is what feminist is for me. It is very much an egotistical, very, very deeply ideological movement that has nothing but hatred and bad ideas. And they care nothing for men. No matter what your nice friends may have told you, feminism considers men second class, have no time to deal with those issues. And I do see a handful of people trying their damnedest to advocate for few causes like male rape victims and whatnot. But for every handful of them I see thousands upon thousands of feminists demanding to shut down male shelters for rape victims. I see them harass and bully. And when it comes to this, feminists have been the worst lot of the ongoing hashtag of Gamergate of late. Trying to label and stick every single gamer and Gamergate supporter as a misogynistic, hate-mongering bastard. And when you go and examine the evidence on the internet, you see that Gamergate is anything but. The evidence are right out there, and still feminists insist on peddling this bullshit. Now, feminists aren't alone in this, and they're being very much pushed on by ideologues and social justice warriors and gaming press media that keep spewing hatred and bullshit because it's okay to do so against the white man, the white virgin male gamer that lives in the basement of its mom's. And it's just so perplexing. But until feminists start to actually fight their actions, not their words, not their platitudes, their actions for full equality everywhere, until they do that, I'm not able to support them. I may give to each individual that does what Christina Hoff Sommers does. I may give them support and like and try to share their content, because that is what matters. That is what true equality is about. Not trying to get more women into leadership position in boardrooms where they may or may not be qualified, but hey, you know what? There's not a penis between her legs, so let's put her in an important leadership position, because that's her qualification. Not that she can be in the position because she has come there on her own terms. No. She's a woman, therefore we should just put her there. That's what feminists are fighting for. And in regards to Christina Hoff Sommers, if you don't know who she is, she calls herself the factual feminist. And she does so, she has a right to do so. Because she actually researches, she actually looks into claims, she does her research. And when she finds in support of feminism, she goes out and supports it and say, yes, this is true. But also when feminists are being wrong, like the wage gap myth, she goes out and tells just how it is, just where the faults are coming from, just why things are wrong. She's just not making baseless assumptions and accusations like most feminists do. And her crime of presenting these facts, of researching and presenting facts, is a crime to the feminists. And a majority of them hate her. Absolutely hate her. It's not trolling, it's not a simple anger. It's absolutely nothing but hate. And this is what the dangerous part of feminists and their movement is doing. I'm not saying every feminist is bad, but not cleaning up your own house, not dealing with the shit that comes out of your own house, that makes you as bad as the shit that comes out from there. I'm not saying you have to stand up and be on guard for every single issue there is, but I am telling you, you need to be mindful of it. Just like I've seen you being mindful of shit coming out of atheists and all the other things that you stand for. I've seen you be mindful about that, and I encourage you to keep being mindful, and especially mindful about feminists, because they have attracted a very, very ugly crowd, and they are very, very much in the majority. The few that do good for feminists are being drowned out, and I encourage you to lift them out to really show what they're doing. But I'm afraid that your new nice friends may not appreciate things like Christina Hoff Sommers and what she has to say, because it will very much shatter and destroy much of what people think or feminists think is going on. Reality and feminism, we already know, isn't the bestest of friends. And it's easier to be angry at something imaginary like the patriarchy. It's easier to be upset about you making 77 cents to $1, as the American feminists are perpetuating. They still to this day, they even managed to get President Obama to go out and say that women only make 77 cents for every dollar a man makes, despite it being wrong. Same jobs pays the same wage. But feminists aren't interested in this. So I do caution you, if you do bring these things up that are factual, true, you can give them evidence, you're quite likely to alienate a lot of friends you have made in the feminists on campus, wherever you are. I thought you said University of Surrey, which isn't too far away from where I am. Anyway, I want to round this off with saying thank you for your videos, and even though you're afraid that people may unsubscribe to you, I'm saying I'm still listening, because you do have interesting thoughts, you have interesting ideas. And I do encourage you to keep up with that, and keep an open mind as always. Keep looking, and please, please, please do not drink the feminist Kool-Aid. It's far too toxic, and it can twist even the best of us. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think the video is too long, or you have longer comments, please give me a video feedback, and I'll try to listen in and try to give you a good response back. The name is Jim, also known as Viper Bane. Until next time, guys, thanks for listening.